So I remember when I was a kid, one of the things I used to get scared of was noises in the dark. Who used to see faces in the dark? Anyone used to see things in the dark? Who still sees things in the dark? And you're like, Grandma, is that you? What are you doing here? Wow, it's good to see you. Oh, it's just a cat. I remember those three noises that were making me very scared at night. This is just before my parents split up. There was the tapping on a window, the howling, what I thought was a wolf down the aisle of my house, and the creaking of the floorboards. And I thought something was coming to get me. And every night for weeks, I'd scream in the middle of the night out for Dad, Dad, come and help me. And he'd wake up, he'd go, what's wrong, what's wrong? And he'd thinking that someone's going to take us or something. And I'm like, there's something out to get me. And after weeks of this, he said, we have to face this danger. We have to face your fear. So he got me up one night, it was winter. And he got the spotlight on. He said, let's try and hear every single noise that is scaring you and let's face it together. I'm like, I'm too scared. So he held my hand. I was this little Asian kid, man. I picture me, little Matty, without a moustache, right? Holding my dad's hand. And the first noise was the creak of the floorboards. And every time we'd walk past this certain part in the house, it would creak. And then and he'd stop and he'd go back again and the same noise would happen. It's like, see? Cause and effect. Cause and effect. I'm like, oh, cool. But what if no one's walking on that? You're not always awake all the time. Our house was old and it was windy all the time where we lived, and the wind actually came up under the floorboards, and that's what caused the creak. I'm like, wow, so it's not a monster. That's great. But there's two other noises. It's like, it's from the house outside. So let's go. Put your slippers on and get your Pooh Bear. Let's go. So we went outside. We checked out this like alleyway, is like where we put our bins in the garden. It was like a chamber. So whenever it was windy, the acoustics in there were so loud, it just howled like a wolf. And I'm like, wow, that's where the wind is. So it's not a wolf anymore. But what about the tapping on my window? That's the creepiest thing. That's really creepy, I've got to tell you. Grandma, you got to cut your nails. And it was an old branch tapping on my window. And as soon as we faced every single thing that caused these noises, I slept so well. That's what people will say, slept like a baby, waking up 2 times a night and weeing my pants. That's what a baby is like. I don't know why people say that, I slept like a baby, because that's literally what it means. It's like waking up all the time. What's wrong with our words? But see what I mean? What you don't know can really terrify you. And with mental health, the number one personal concern for us is stress and anxiety. And I don't know about you, but I hear in conversation all the time, even in the media, them being spoken about like as if they're the same thing. Do you reckon they're different? Is stress and anxiety different? Can you be stressed but not anxious? Hands up if you think you can be stressed but not anxious. Okay, cool. So theoretically, you believe that. But what do you say when a test is coming up? Do you say you're stressed? I'm so stressed. But is that stress? That's what we're going to get into tonight. Yeah, you're like, oh, I don't know, my head hurts. Imagine if you're in this car here, right? And you're late. Late for an important date. Okay? So if you're late for a very important date, what are you feeling? Anger, yes. What else?
Stress.
Anxiety, right? Stress. So we got those 2 words mentioned, and we got to tease these 2 words out and define them, because that's the number one personal concern for us, for well-being. So is anyone like this in their mind? Why won't the cars just move? How did you get your license? This is you, isn't it? No. Or who's more like this? Get down. Who's your daddy and what does he do? How about this part? This is much more relevant, right? Put your hand up if you relate to this one. Well, let's be honest here. Like, all schools put a certain amount of pressure on you. Society puts pressure on you. You put pressure on you. Let's tease out this stress and anxiety comparison. What is stress then? Put your hand up. Let's hear it. There's no right or there's a right or wrong answer, but let's have a go here. Because we should, as leaders, we applaud people who do really well. But as leaders, I reckon we should applaud people who give it a go as well, right? Don't you reckon? So let's go. What's stress? Yeah, bro.
Is stress applied by external factors?
External factors. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yep.
Anxiety is more innate. Like it's some people have more of a predisposition for it, where it's sometimes part of your nature.
Part of your nature. Yeah, can be. Can be. It's good. Because this thing, you should have learnt this in English, right? When you're doing an essay, you need to be able to define what you're talking about, the term, right? So in order to progress in this conversation intellectually, we need to pick a definition and understand what it means. Do you think being stressed can be a positive thing sometimes? Yes. Interesting, because when we're at the gym and the personal trainer's like, 1 more push-up now! Is that stress or anxiety that you feel? Hands up for stress if that's you feeling stressed. Hands up if you're anxious. It's more stress. Because someone's screaming at you right there in the moment, in your head, pushing you to actually do 1 more than what you think you can do right then, right? So you get someone right in the moment. So let's come to this definition tonight. Let's work within this definition. That stress is a natural response to present danger. Because a lot of these terms can be talked about and lectured very clinically. You know what I mean by clinically? Like, yeah, it's part of the neocortex and the hippocampus connects to the stem. And it's like, whoa, wow, all I just heard was hippo. But one of my goals in doing talks is trying to make very concerning ideas and the things we're seeing like understood. So think about how stress can be a natural response to present danger. If you're in the car and you're stressing, what's presently dangerous about that? There's a couple things. You've got to keep your attention on the road. You've got to make sure you don't ran up the back of somebody. But is anyone screaming in your ears? Has anyone got a gun to your head? Is anyone causing that fight or flight response? No, but think about this. What are you really afraid of? Being late. Being late. Where is that in the past, present, and future framework? Future. Think about this. When you're stressed about exams, are the exams on the due date? You're not doing an exam by studying in the moment, right? No. So, obviously, that's common sense. So you're stressing about something in the future. So what am I trying to say? The differences between stress and anxiety. That stress is a natural response to present danger. And anxiety is a fear that arises from the perceived threat of loss or fear in the future. So the perceived threat of loss or having less of something. This is my friend. Her face is beautiful. What can you notice about her? What if I asked her to help me lift a very heavy object? Do you think that would be really unfair? Would you be understanding that she couldn't participate in the athletics carnival? It's like, come on, suck it up. Because we can see it, it's fine. We can understand it. But 4 million Australians have a disability and 90% are invisible.